As I've said in the previous video, reading books made the biggest change in my life. I've read 200 plus books until now and I'm not planning to stop. On the left hand side you see all the books that I've stored in this flat, and today I want to tell you the 7 best books that have forced me to take the red pill, so to speak, and made a paradigm shift in my life. Let's go straight into it. Number 1. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Now, before I've read this book, I always thought that materialistic things, money, cars, watches will make you happy. But this book basically taught me that you have to strive for a life of meaning, for a life of purpose, and basically for a life of self-improvement. This book is written as a fable, so it tells you a story about this lawyer that goes to India, I thought was it, then meets the monks, which basically give him wisdom about living a good life. I highly recommend this. It's also extremely motivating in my opinion. Great book. Now, I don't have all the good books here because I usually give them away. The next one on the list, number 2, is Rational Male. This book is by the author Rollo Tomasi and basically explains you how to deal with relationships and how to act around women. Now, most men don't know how to act around women and therefore have only the slightest chance of having success in that field. He calls it blue pill versus red pill. It's also why the title of this video is called like that. Before that book, I was heavily in a relationship mode, seeing women as those divine creatures, and Rollo Tomasi from the Rational Male kind of switched the paradigm shift inside me, which now I see me as a prize and just know how to act around women much better. There's also some part of evolutionary biology in that book, so I highly recommend that for every man out there. Next one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So we again have this in physical copy. We have this even twice right here. I don't know why I have this book twice. I've read this 3 years ago, probably. It was one of the first books that I've ever read and I highly recommend it when it comes to sorting out your finances. The main takeaway in that book, it's also the paradigm shift that I've got to reading it, was that you have to know the difference between an investment and a liability. The best example is your house. I remember my mother once telling me that the house was the best investment that she ever made. Now, the house could be an investment, but most people, in my opinion, are losing money when buying a house. It's not an investment, it's a liability. So that crucial difference you need to know when you just want to live a financially secure life. I highly recommend that book. Now, the next book is also not here. It's called Sapiens. It basically explains to you the history of humans on this planet. Now, the paradigm shift and the red pill, so to speak, in that book was that previously in that book I always had this rosy view of the past of humans. And it turns out that humans are actually quite evil creatures if you look at them at the face of evolution, what we've all gone through. For example, it was a megafauna when we cultivated Australia, like really big animals, and only 100, 200 years later, when we, Homo sapiens, first settled there, they were all gone extinct. Sapiens really helps you to understand how humans think and therefore predict their future actions better. Next one is How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. And this one is down here. It's a really big book, and I think in this book there are probably more than 1,000 studies cited right here. This gave me not necessarily the paradigm shift of a normal diet versus the vegan diet. The other book was more like eating animals, but this book gave me the paradigm shift in really understanding what a good nutrition consists of. As said before, it's heavily researched, it's science-backed, and I think if it wasn't for this book, if it wasn't for Dr. Michael Greger, which is the author of that book, a highly knowledgeable guy, and if it wasn't for that book, I would have big concerns being vegan, because this book basically explained me that veganism can be a very good nutrition, and it's probably the most beneficial of them all. The next book that gave me the red pill when it comes to weightlifting is called Starting Strength by Mark Rippetoe. And before reading that book, I actually thought that everyone can lift weights and it's not that hard. But Mark Rippetoe uses great physics to explain you the basic barbell lifts in that book, and really explains you how to excel when training your body in the gym. It's a great book. It's not that long of a read, but it's definitely worth it when it comes to propelling you forward in your fitness journey or hire a coach. And the last, number 7, a little bit controversial book, is called The Dictator's Handbook. And this book gave me the paradigm shift. Before reading that book, I thought that countries would always make great decisions. But when I've read that book, I understood that behind every country there is a leader which also has human tendencies, as you've seen before in the book Sapiens. So this book basically explains you how countries act and why there's a crucial difference between democracy and a dictatorship, especially when going into war. Really eye-opening book, definitely gave me the red pill when it comes to thinking about countries and where to live. These were the top 7 books that I've read in my life and which have made the biggest difference in hindsight. All these 7 books will be linked down in the description. If you click on them, it will take you to Amazon where you can buy the book. It's an affiliate link, so if you want to support my work, if you want to support this channel, I would heavily appreciate it. This video was also a suggestion of one of my YouTube subscribers, so if you have any suggestions or questions, please write it down below. I literally reply to every comment on my channel. If you like that stuff, also don't forget to subscribe. I wish you guys a great day.